Namo Sakya Muni Buddha. Dear Venerable Sangha, Buddhist ladies and gentlemen, you are invited to join us in this weekly Buddhist Newsreel on Phật online channel. Hereafter, 6 major headlines of Buddhist activities of the week. Trí Quảng Library of Vietnam Buddhist University in Ho Chi Minh City to be inaugurated at the end of 2023. Hanoi closing ceremony of youth retreat course. I returned to Buddha's side in 2023 at Bằng Pagoda. Nghệ An Provincial Buddhist Board congratulates the 77th anniversary of the People's Security Force Traditional Day. Provincial Buddhist Boards of Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu and Đồng Nai visit and encourage the venerable practitioners in the local retreats. Central Nunnery Subsection Delegation visits nun retreats in 13 Southwest Region provinces. Institute of Religions and Beliefs affiliated to Ho Chi Minh National Politics Academy visits in working session with honorifics from Study Council of Vietnam Buddhist University in Hanoi. The following are the news in detail. On the morning of July 11, 2023, Most Venerable Elder Trí Quảng, the Dharma Master of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, Rector of the Vietnam Buddhist University in Ho Chi Minh City, chaired a meeting with the Board of Directors of Trí Quảng Library and surveyed its preliminary operation process.
At the meeting, Ms. Trương Thị Ngọc Mai, Director of Library Center, reported that the overall work items had completed 30% of the service volume and put into operation phase 1, which the reading area on the first floor is in use with a capacity of 167 seats. It is expected that Trí Quảng Library will be inaugurated by the end of year 2023. The librarians manage more than 14,000 paperback titles. The electronic documents are continuously updated and digitized. After listening to the report, the Venerable Honorifics in turn made comments and contributed ideas to improve the contents. Speaking to conclude the meeting, the Most Venerable Trí Quảng appreciated the spirit of completing the works at the library of the related departments. During the upcoming operation, he wished to continue to focus on the application of appropriate information technology to make the most of the existing functions of the library.
On July 9, 2023, the final day of the 11th Youth Retreat course with the theme, I Returned to Buddha's Side at Bằng Pagoda, Hanoi, 550 practitioners had memorable memories with venerables as well as Dharma, brothers and sisters.
In the morning, Most Venerable Thích Huệ Phước, Vice Head of the Standing Board of Thừa Thiên Huế Provincial Buddhist Board, shared a Dharma talk with the young people. In the dining hall, the practitioners together performed the midday ritual of worshipping and had a vegetarian meal before the end of the retreat course. At the closing ceremony, the parents of 550 practitioners were also interested in the event. The practitioners in the retreat course were divided into 10 groups, and each group had a venerable mentor. Thereby, the practitioners experienced joy and sorrow together and were taught to become filial children, devout Buddhists, and useful citizens for society by the venerables. When the retreat course ended, Most Venerable Thích Bảo Nghiêm, head of the organizing board, hoped that the young people would cultivate compassion and appreciate life. The trained practitioners were supposed to be filial to their parents. They need to know how to say thank you and sorry, etc. On the evening of the 8th of July 2023, 550 practitioners had the opportunity to sell their thoughts and experience in a quiet night of tea meditation with the theme, I Returned to the Buddha's Side, and listen to the Venerable Thích Trì Trơn talking about the meaning of tea meditation. Participating in the youth retreat I Returned to the Buddha's Side, the practitioners also had many meaningful activities, doing morning exercises together, chanting morning sutras, as well as listening to the Dharma talks of the venerable monks and nuns. Venerable Thích Trì Trơn also shared a Dharma talk on the morning of the 5th day of the retreat. After 5 days of practice from the 4th to the 9th of July 2023, more than 550 young practitioners of the 11th Youth Retreat at Bằng Pagoda had developed a good heart and wished to take refuge in the Three Jewels, and becoming disciples of the Buddha, living the life of mindfulness. In response to that wish, Most Venerable TP.HCM and the monks performed a ceremonial ordination to impart the 3 refuges of the 5 precepts to good boys and girls on the morning of the 9th of July 2023. In the dignified and pure atmosphere, the aggregation respectfully listened to the Most Venerable, single-mindedly committed to upholding the Buddha's teachings.
On the occasion of the 77th anniversary of the People's Security Force Traditional Day, Most Venerable TP.HCM, Permanent Vice Head of Nghệ An Provincial Buddhist Board, and the delegation visited and presented flowers to congratulate police officers and soldiers on the afternoon of July 11, 2023.
Welcoming the delegation were Colonel Le Văn Thái, Deputy Director of the Provincial Police, Senior Colonel Nguyễn Hồng Tuyến, Head of Division PA02 of the Provincial Public Security, and leaders of divisions under the Provincial Public Security. Most Venerable TP.HCM sent his best wishes to the leaders of the Provincial Police and all officers and soldiers successfully completing the work of ensuring political security, social order, and safety. The Venerable also thanked the leaders of the Provincial Public Security in the past time for their interest and assistance to the Provincial Buddhist Parochial Board in Buddhist activities to achieve success. On behalf of the Provincial Police, Colonel Le Văn Thái thanked and shared with the delegation the outstanding performance of the sector in the first 6 months of 2023. The Deputy Director of the Provincial Public Security hoped that, in the coming time, monks, nuns, and Buddhists would continue to accompany the Provincial Party Committee and government in solidarity for socio-economic development tasks, closely coordinate with the police force in ensuring security and public order in the area.
As a demonstration of concern in monks and nuns who had lived in confinement during the Vasa of Buddha year 2567, Buddhist honorifics of Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu and Đồng Nai Provincial Buddhist Boards visited and encouraged practitioners in the local summer retreats.
In Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu on the 12th of July 2023, Most Venerable TP.HCM, head of the Provincial Buddhist Board, and his delegation visited 7 retreat points with over 500 monk and nun practitioners in Phú Mỹ District, Châu Đức District, Bà Rịa City, and Vũng Tàu City. It is known that the whole province currently has 18 retreat points with a large number of practitioners, second only to Ho Chi Minh City. At each retreat point, Most Venerable TP.HCM encouraged devotion and graciously advised practitioners to pay attention to the observance of the precepts, because the precepts are the wisdom lights of messengers of the Tathagata and the Dharma. The Most Venerable also delivered a sermon to have practitioners confine their bodies and minds, cultivating virtue, concentration, wisdom. On this occasion, the Most Venerable Master also handed over the gifts and financial support to monks and nuns to study in peace in the 3-month rain retreat. Before that, on the afternoon of the 11th of July, the delegation had visited Vạn Thiện Retreat Point in Phú Mỹ Town, and the Most Venerable talked to practitioners about his spiritual journey. In the mountainous forest of Thị Vải, the Most Venerable was very emotional when he witnessed the serious studies performed by the monks and nuns. The Most Venerable hoped that the monks and nuns in the province would always be in harmony and cohesion, to serve as a refuge for Buddhist followers. On behalf of the Provincial Buddhist Parochial Board, the Most Venerable offered financial and material resources to support practitioners residing in the retreat. In Đồng Nai Province, for 2 days of the 10th and 11th of July 2023, Venerable TP.HCM, head of the Provincial Buddhist Board, head of the Provincial Buddhist Monastic Affairs Section, led the delegation to visit the Venerable practitioners in retreats at Thống Nhất, Trảng Bom, and Long Thành districts, Đồng Nai Province. At the retreat points, the Venerable practitioners listened to the devotion encouragement delivered by Venerable TP.HCM to promote body and mind during the 3 months of meditation practice. On this occasion, the Provincial Buddhist Parochial Board made offerings of financial and material resources to have practitioners feel secure in their retreat season.
According to the plan of Buddhist activities in the summer retreat season of Buddha year 2567, on July the 8th to 2023, Master Thích Nữ Nhật Hương, head of the Central Nunnery subsection, and her delegation visited and made offerings to nun retreat point to 13 southwestern provinces.
On July 8, the delegation went to 5 nun retreat points in Long An, Tiền Giang, Bến Tre, and Trà Vinh provinces. At the retreat points, the delegation offered incense to the Buddha, paid homage to the three jewels, and read the heartfelt letter of determination written by Master Nun Tịnh Nguyện, head of the permanent board of the Central Nunnery subsection, to all the nuns residing in the provinces. Master Nun Thích Nữ Nhật Hương delivered a sincere message of devotion and encouragement to the nuns, and satisfactorily answered the nuns' questions in practice. In principle, the nuns must always live with a spirit of gratitude by doing good deeds in the world, following the example of the Holy Nuns Patriarch. On this occasion, Master Nun Thích Nữ Tịnh Nghiêm made offerings to nun retreat points, the monastic garment, in accordance with the standards of the Central Board of Culture. In Cần Thơ Province, on the morning of July 9, 2023, the delegation visited 2 nun retreat points in Cần Thơ at Phước Long Pagoda, Cái Răng District, and Liễu Thành Pagoda, Vĩnh Thành District, where a total of 105 nuns are living in residence. After the rites of the visit, the Master Nun reminded the nuns to unite, make meticulous effort with determination to make Cần Thơ a history of nunnery Buddhism, and successfully organize the memorial anniversaries. The Master Nun hoped that the nuns were as pure as the water of the river and together fulfilled their duties. On a journey to the retreat across 13 provinces in the southwest region, Master Nun Thích Nữ Nhật Hương and the delegation went further to visit the retreat points in Cà Mau, Hậu Giang, and Kiên Giang provinces on July 10, 2023.
On the afternoon of July 10, 2023, leaders of the Academy of Religions and Beliefs, Ho Chi Minh National Academy of Politics, visited and worked with the dignitaries and honorifics of the Operation Council of Vietnam Buddhist University in HANOI.
Welcoming the delegation, Most Venerable Thích Thanh Quyết, Director, and Professor Lương Gia Tĩnh expressed the excitement when the institute leaders were interested in the educational work of the Vietnam Buddhist University, with the desire to cooperate in training and scientific research, especially in training of religious honorifics. Associate Professor Dr. Đỗ Lan Hiền, Director of the Institute of Religion and Belief, and her team members discussed the relationship of specialized training in religion and belief. As a religious researcher, with many years working in the Government Committee for Religious Affairs and being attached to Buddhism, Dr. Bùi Hữu Dược, former director of the Department of Buddhism, also provided valuable comments and advice. The Venerable Honorifics and the delegates initially introduced some contents in joint training, especially postgraduate training, as well as guiding monks and nuns in scientific research, and discussed the current training of belief religion in educational institutions. In conclusion, the Most Venerable put forward some orientation in training and scientific research link between the two sides, especially a seminar on the reality of training at religious institutions was suggested.
Venerable monks and nuns, Buddhist ladies and gentlemen, the last news has started off this weekly newsreel. Thank you for your attention and following. Goodbye and see you in the next program on PSO TV channel. Namo Sakya Muni Buddha.